All new Dr. Phil. Today's show ends like this.
I want to apologize for the way I behaved on stage.
You have to see what leads up to it.
Everybody thinks that I'm a mess.
She's living in a house her parents own.
But you're not paying rent?
They're even caring for her kids.
You've had to bribe her, give her tires for her car, for her to come see her children?
They say she's a lazy, lying mooch.
She slept in the house while she mowed the lawn.
No, I did not. How many times did I come out and give you water?
You stuck your head out the window and said, quit making so much noise. I'm trying to sleep.
If you're going to sit here and make up stories,
You're the one telling lies, and we all know it.
I'm not speaking to you right now.
You can hear what I have to say.
I'm not listening.
You want to come in here with a pissy attitude, like you're doing me a favor to be here? Who the hell do you think you are? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. I want you to meet Christy. Her family says she is a lazy, lying mooch. But that's not all. Her mother says Christy is also an extortionist who demanded her water bill be paid and an agreement signed allowing her new boyfriend to continue living in their condo before she would even agree to come here today. Her mother says being bribed by Christy is nothing new. She says Christy is a master manipulator who hasn't paid rent in 10 years, is a neglectful parent who prefers questionable men, and partying over her own children. Now, it was her 14-year-old daughter, who wrote to me in a compelling and urgent email. Quote, my mother is an alcoholic who just doesn't get it. That if she doesn't stop drinking, she's going to die. 14-year-old child wrote me this. Christy is currently living rent-free in her parents' condo, and when Mom opened the door for us to get a peek inside, there was no sign that she had cut down on her drinking. Take a look.
Christy is living in a duplex we purchased, and she does not pay rent. This is the garage. Most of the time there's a lot more beer and bottles of liquor and stuff. When you go in the house, just cluttered and everything all over the place, clothes on the floor.
My parents are scared to kick her out.
We've spent probably $147,000 on her. We live from paycheck to paycheck, and it's just unfair.
So Christy lies about not having money, and then she'll show up in a pair of new jeans, or her hair's done, she's got new boots.
She's an accountant, but she won't get up and go to work because she drinks or parties at night and can't wake up.
I choose vodka because it tends to give me that buzz or that drunk a lot quicker. The beer I can't drink unless it's completely cold. So this is my backup.
Christy is definitely an alcoholic. She starts out in the morning and goes till night.
Many times she's just too drunk to really function. Her words are slurred and she can't make a lot of sense. She's just in bad shape.
In the last 3.5 years, we've picked Christy up 40 to 50 times because she was drunk and couldn't drive home.
This is the local hospital where we have brought Christy probably 8 times. One time she had a 0.5 alcohol level, and the doctor said she shouldn't even have been alive at 0.5.
Christy doesn't get it.
I am really done with my daughter's freeloading, drinking, and irresponsible behavior. She needs to stop now.
Christy's parents say 3.5 years ago, things got so bad with Christy, they said, look, I'm not even going to let these daughters go home to her. And they haven't given them back since.
Christy has 2 daughters, and she doesn't make them her priority.
Because of the drinking, Christy was not getting them to school on a regular basis.
I would run over to her house and wake everybody up and try and get the girls to school, and all she's doing is sleeping. And it even got to the point where they were removed from their school because of their tardies and absences.
My parents made the decision to take the girls.
We just called Christy and said, we're not bringing the children home until you get your act together. That conversation was 3.5 years ago, and we've had them ever since. We have taken over the responsibility of raising Christy's daughters 100%. In the last 3 months, Christy's seen her daughters twice. Christy will use her daughters as leverage with us. One time she wouldn't go to their soccer games until she had tires on her car, so we paid $600. Another time she needed her gas bill paid because she didn't have hot water.
Christy not being there causes a lot of problems between her and her daughters, especially her older daughter. They fight pretty often. They've had screaming matches. She sends them on this emotional roller coaster because she shows up just when she feels like it, and then she yells at them and tries to be a mom. It's incredibly hard to see Christy do this to her kids.
Okay, you've had to bribe her to come see your children? You had to give her tires for her car, for her to come to a soccer game, to go. You've been picking her up drunk. She's been driving drunk with these children. She's been doing all of these things. Why hasn't somebody? I mean, I understand her acting crazy. She's drunk, but you two aren't drunk.
No.
I think we just kept hoping that she would turn it around, and you know, every year or two she'd start getting a little bit better, and so we just do what we thought we needed to do.
Look, everybody that comes on this show is a teaching tool. There are 2.7 million grandparents in America raising their grandchildren. A large percentage of that is because their daughters and sons are on drugs or alcohol, so they've defaulted to their parents to raise their children.
I think some of it is she would always lead us to think that, okay, I'm done, I'm going to fix myself. I'm joining AA, I've gotten into this rehab, the county rehab, I'm going to do this, I have stopped drinking, I haven't drank in 3 weeks. I'm fixing it, I've got it, I'm in control, we'd have hope again.
But
things
10
would
years?
change.
You're like Charlie Brown kicking the football?
Yeah.
Listen, this time, seriously, this time I'm going to do it.
I guess I just didn't realize how fast time was going by.
And I don't know if we realized how bad it was.
Do you
the
now?
whole time. We do now.
Yes.
You didn't write me.
No.
You didn't write me.
We wrote in a few times.
A 14-year-old child wrote 2 emails just minutes apart recently. On December 18th of last year at 6:40 p.m., here's what she wrote. Hi, Dr. Phil. I'm a 14-year-old girl who really needs your help. My grandpa and aunt have written you before. My mother is an alcoholic who just doesn't get that if she doesn't stop drinking, she's going to die. Then December 18th, 6:35 p.m. Hi, Dr. Phil. I just wrote you, but if you haven't read my letter, then my name is so-and-so and I'm 14. I feel like sometimes my mom likes my sister better than me. I'm adopted, and my father treated my sister like she was a princess and I was a frog. I feel my mom does the same. Her car is filled with the 12-year-old sister's pictures and not one single one of me. Please help me, Dr. Phil. Please, you are my last hope. This was signed by the 14-year-old.
And it makes me so angry that she's done this to her children. Makes me feel devastated, sad.
We don't know what to do, Dr. Phil. We don't know what to do.
14-year-old knew what to do.
Yes.
Next, we'll hear from Christy. She says her family are a bunch of exaggerators. She says she's not manipulative, not lazy, and not a liar. In fact, she says her days are filled with working out, looking for a job, and taking care of her new boyfriend and his 3-year-old son.
Everybody thinks that I'm a mess, this worthless person that does nothing and strives for nothing, and that's certainly not the case. My parents agreed to help me, and that is what they are doing.
And later, is the place taken care of?
It's not taken care of. I mow the lawn. You left it last summer. It was 2.5, 3
She
feet high.
slept in the house while she mowed the lawn.
How many times did I come out and give you water and give you food?
Tomorrow.
My son is so violent. I sleep with a loaded shotgun.
I'm tired of this. This is garbage.
A mother says she fears for her life.
Did you try to run your girlfriend over with a car?
No, sir.
What the hell are you doing running your car through a fence?
Plus, after years of silence, Michael Brown's mother speaks out.
What was your reaction when you saw the response to your son's death?
Then on Wednesday, is a stranger obsessed with their twins?
How did pictures of their twins get on your Facebook page?
I don't know. You've claimed my girls as your own, and it's gonna stop.
All new Dr. Phil Wednesday. They say their daughter's a lazy mooch.
You're not paying rent?
I mowed the lawn. You said quit making noise. I'm trying to sleep.
I did not.
Who the hell do you think you are?
All new Dr. Phil.
Christy's parents say they are fed up with her freeloading and irresponsible behavior. Younger sister Lori says there are moments when she just absolutely wants to kill her older sister. Christy says she is sick of being the black sheep of the family. She says, look, I'm just misunderstood. Take a look.
Christy is deceitful and manipulative.
I am extremely fed up with Christy taking advantage of us.
Christy doesn't get it.
Just happens over and over
Christy
again.
has let the whole family down.
I'm the black sheep of the family. Everybody thinks that I'm a mess, this worthless person that does nothing and strives for nothing, and that's certainly not the case. My family refuses to understand my drinking and the struggles that I've been through. You've always blamed everybody else. Always. I get judged all the time from you. My family is always accusing me of being lazy. I am out looking for work, or I'm out taking a jog, or I'm lifting weights. Yeah, I'm constantly doing something. My little sister Lori constantly accuses me of taking advantage of my parents. They agreed to help me, and that is what they are doing. My entire family thinks that I drink 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm not currently doing that right now. I drink 3 to 4 nights a week. I know I'm a screw up. When my parents took my children without any warning, I found out over the phone. My parents' reasoning was that I was drinking too much and that my children were missing class, but currently my children are missing class a lot more than they were when they were with me. I don't think I've gone more than a week without seeing my children. I definitely do want my children back with me, but I feel like my parents and my sisters have tried to drill in their brains that I'm a piece of crap mother.
So are you a bad mother?
I don't believe so. Not when I have my children with me.
And you said you haven't gone more than a week without seeing your children?
Correct. I don't recall.
I'm going to ask you to really be honest with me here, because you're under contract here.
Which contract is that?
The one you made with them to come here.
As far as the duplex goes?
You held them hostage, right? You made a deal with them to come here?
I did, yes.
Yeah, we have that. Here's the demand note. I, Charlotte, we took out the last name, as well as my husband, agreed to allow your boyfriend to live and maintain our home they live in until my daughter Christine gets back from rehab Dr. Phil show. We will not bother your boyfriend unless things are not taken care of. We understand his financial situation, and he will pay rent when he can afford to do so.
Yes, that was our agreement.
Do you hear how ridiculous that sounds? Do you hear that? It's a joke. He's living in their home. They don't even know who he is.
That's fine that they don't know who he is. The reason they don't know who he is because I'm afraid to bring anybody around them because of the judgments.
Are you an alcoholic?
Yes, sir, I am.
Because you told us a couple of different things in the pre-interview. You said that you used to have a serious drinking problem.
It used to be a lot worse than it is now.
But now you only drink 3 or 4 nights a week.
Yes, and they are lying to you when they say that I drink morning to night. I do not drink until 4 or 5 o'clock at night.
Is your daughter lying too?
The letter that she wrote in, she told me that her grandmother made her write you.
No, she did not.
That is a lie.
No, she did not.
That's what she told. How do you know? That's what she told me.
Because we know her. She's an intelligent, beautiful child who has come so far in the last 3 years. It's unbelievable.
You have
And
not
she
had her
would
for 3
not
years.
Say that.
You've not had her for 3
No.
years. You've had her for 2 Christmases, which is 2 years.
We have had her
like 4
3.5 years. We looked it up.
Why have they had her
If
for...
you're going to be sitting up here lying, there's no reason to be here.
You're not able to take care of them?
I believe at this point I can take care of them.
When I first took
Then why aren't you?
Because they won't let me. I don't feel like they would be neglected. I don't feel like they would be hurt. I don't feel like they would not be fed. I don't feel like they would...
And that's exactly why we took them, is because you couldn't see what you were doing to them.
If you want your children, you could go get them.
Correct, but if I go get my children, then I'll lose the rest of my family also.
But what should come first?
I think the entire family should be first.
The children should come first.
We're here for the
before
kids.
you.
What's your famous statement, Mom? It takes a village to raise a child, correct?
But it doesn't mean me raise them. It means we work together.
Yes, that's correct.
Christy's family says her first marriage ended in divorce. She meets men in bars and has had to sell her body to make ends meet. Well, we'll ask her about that when we come back.
Christy has told us she does have sex to get money to pay her bills.
I did have to let men take advantage of me.
You wonder how she could ever put herself in that situation.
And later, you want to come in here with a pissy attitude, like you're doing me a favor to be here? Who the hell do you think you are?
My mom says I have a mental disorder.
You've been self-medicating with alcohol because your dream got ripped from you. You were accused of planting drugs in this woman's car, did you?
No.
But they did find your DNA on the pills. You say he tried to gouge your eye out.
Gouge her eye? I don't try and hurt you. I just try and stop you from doing anything to me.
She's charging you like a bull, is that what you're saying? And you're having to take her down?
Yes.
Plus, your children have been removed from the home.
I'm in Hollywood right now, so how can I worry about my children?
Families in crisis.
I've been worried about your children. Why don't you take them then, you little witch?
I feel like I care about your kids more than you do.
Off before I hit you on stage.
Can I move my seat, Dr. Phil?
Yeah, actually sit her next to my hypocritical mother.
They say their daughter's a lazy mooch.
You're not paying rent?
I mowed the lawn. You said quit making noise. I'm trying to sleep.
I did not.
Who the hell do you think you are?
All new Dr. Phil.
Right now, Christy's boyfriend and his little boy are living with Christy, and that's incredibly frustrating.
Christy has dated this young man for just a few months and already has made these arrangements in our duplex.
My boyfriend moved into the far basement of the condo that I still live upstairs.
They're in a house that doesn't even belong to them, and now she's caring for somebody else's child when she can't care for her own 2 kids.
Well, Christy's family says her behavior has spiraled out of control over the last 3 years. They say she's addicted to drinking, mooching, smoking, lying, and men.
I think Christy's very obsessed with men.
She is not happy being by herself. She's petrified of not getting married.
I am not obsessed with men. That's a ridiculous statement.
Christy has told us at times when we've picked her up at night that she does have sex to get money to pay her bills.
I did have to let men take advantage of me in order to get cash to pay my bills or to get cash to pay for my drinking.
Last October, she called us around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning to come and pick her up.
She called hysterical crying, "I need help," but she couldn't give us an address.
We finally found her and picked her up on this curb. It was about 30 degrees outside, and she was sitting on the curb in a tank top and shorts, and it was just a horrible night. We didn't think she would survive it.
You wonder how she could ever put herself in that situation.
I ended up being raped a total of 5 times. All of that was on top of being raped and taken advantage of years before that. I believe that I am stuck in a rut. I feel lost.
So basically what you're telling me is that your drinking is under control. You could get your kids and take them home and be with your boyfriend and the 3-year-old that's there, and you would be good to go.
I do not care for his little boy. I took care of him 2 days.
He's living there free?
No, he's helped me pay the bills.
He's paying rent?
He helped me pay the utility, the electric bill and groceries and things like that.
So nobody's paying rent?
Nobody. Not to us.
And you own the place?
I own the place, my husband and I.
Dan, you guys own the place, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're making the mortgage payments, but you're not getting any rent at all in 10 years?
No.
Not a dime of rent?
Just the only thing I guess we get to participate in is the maintenance and keeping the place up as well on top of the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
And is the place taken care of?
Not real well.
No, not
No.
at all.
Yeah, you're right. Not at all.
I wouldn't let my kids in that place.
She can speak for herself.
It's not taken care of. I mow the lawn quite often. You left it last summer. It was 2.5, 3 feet high. I came over
The
with...
lawn was 2.5, 3 feet high?
The lawn was 2.5, 3 feet high.
And she slept in the house while she
I
mowed
mowed
the lawn.
it, and it took me 3 days to mow it.
And she slept in the house while
Yes,
she
yes,
mowed
we did.
the house.
No, I did not. Were you there?
Yes, I was.
I was not
And
sleeping.
then you complained
Well, you
about
were in
the
the
noise.
house. Your car
How many
was
times
there.
did I come out and give you water and give you and
That
give
was
you
when-
food and I was up doing the dishes and cleaning the living room, doing all that while you did that. I'm allergic to grass. Every time I mow the yard, I am sick for days after that.
But you brought her some water?
I brought her water, food. I checked on her. I pulled a few weeds while she was out there mowing.
She painted your whole house, too.
She didn't
while
have
you
to.
sat inside.
Yes, I did.
And then she painted the play structure while you sat inside.
That's when I got the water, is when I painted the play structure. You stuck your head out the window when I was painting the duplex and said, "Quit making so much noise. I'm trying to sleep." And
No,
I fell
I
off
did
the
not.
ladder.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
If you're going to sit here and make up stories,
Christy,
then I don't
you're
need
the
to be
one
here.
telling lies, and we all know it.
I'm not speaking to you right now.
I don't care. You can hear what I have to say.
I'm not listening.
Well, let me see if this is true. They tell me that they have had to pick you up dozens of times in the middle of the night because you're too drunk to get home.
Too drunk to drive, yes.
50 times, you estimate.
No, not even.
Within the years, yes.
Sometimes she can't even tell you where she is.
Often.
True? False?
False.
What would be true?
There was one time when I was in a neighborhood that I was unfamiliar with, and I could not tell them where I was at. That was the picture when they picked me up on the curb.
Why weren't you at home, where you're supposed to be?
Wait, just so They come to pick you up when you were too drunk to drive?
Yes.
Have you driven with the kids in the car when you were drunk?
No. No, I have not.
I don't agree with that.
Did Christy drive her children over to her mother's house after drinking 3 shots of vodka? Or were they sips, as Christy claims? We'll talk about that when we come back.
Christy's absence in her daughter's lives just keeps them in turmoil all the time.
They have felt abandoned. They have questioned their worth.
Both girls are devastated that mom now has a 3-year-old in their house and is taking care of him instead of taking care of them. Christy's daughters are very aware. She drinks. They've seen her drink. She has the beer in the house. The girls see the garage full of beer bottles and beer boxes and alcohol bottles. Recently, she picked up one of her daughters from school. She saw her mother drink 3 shots while she was there in that 2-hour time. When I confronted Christy after I heard this, she said she did not take 3 shots, but she did take 3 sips. I didn't know what that meant. To me, she drank 3 shots. I did not believe Christy in the slightest bit.
Christy's 14-year-old daughter wrote 2 emails to me. She says her mother doesn't get it, that if she doesn't stop drinking, she fears she's going to die. She also says her mother makes her feel like a frog compared to her princess sister. Now, just last week, this daughter says her mother tried to say she only had 3 sips of vodka when the 14-year-old says they were shots.
Christy's absence in her daughter's lives just keeps them in turmoil all the time.
They're emotionally unstable. Christy not being there has caused just so much confusion for them. They have felt abandoned. They have questioned their worth. And a lot of times they feel like they're the problem. It breaks my heart.
The oldest one demonstrates a lot of things that shows how depressed she is. Her drawings are very sad, tormented drawings of being bullied. She writes poems about how negative her life is and how she's been dumped by her mom and by her dad. Both girls are devastated that mom now has a 3-year-old in their house and is taking care of him instead of taking care of them. Christy needs to get her priorities straight. They need her in their lives, and they need her now.
You know, psychologists often use tools that are called projective devices. These are devices where, unlike a test that you take, they just give the subject a piece of paper that's blank and a pencil, and they ask them to draw different things. And that's not what happened here. This young girl drew this on her own. It seems to be a self-portrait. Her head's down. My interpretation of that would be depression, sadness, withdrawal, isolation. And then the bubbles over her head suggest internal dialogue to me. This speaks volumes about this young girl's experience of life. This girl that wrote me 2 letters and said, please help me, please help my mother. And you want to come in here with a pissy attitude and argue with these people about how many times you've been picked up drunk? You want to come in here with a pissy attitude and extort from them putting your boyfriend in a condo you don't own or pay for? You want to come in here with a pissy attitude like you're doing me a favor to be here? Who the hell do you think you are? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Do you not feel a sense of responsibility to this young girl?
Of course I do.
We talked to your daughter on the phone. She said you don't even believe she's been bullied. You just think she makes it up for attention.
No, I know she has.
That's what she told us. It doesn't matter whether it's true or not. What I'm telling you is what her perception is.
Okay.
Her perception is she has no soft place to fall. Her perception is nobody has her back. Her perception is she is so alone, she's writing to a stranger on television.
She called me the other day to come pick her up because she was being bullied.
Okay,
she didn't call her, she called me.
Okay, you're right.
She's desperate.
You're right.
Help.
That's all wrong. You're right.
And they call you because you're their mom. They want you in their life so bad.
Well, Christy says her daughter should be home, that she's found, finally, a good boyfriend. Has she really? We'll talk about that after the break.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My son is so violent. I sleep with a loaded shotgun.
I'm tired of this.
Did you try to run your girlfriend over with a car?
No, sir.
What are you doing running your car through a fence?
That's tomorrow.
Right now is an MRI from June of 2010. This is the MRI that they told me that I had 2 tumors on my liver and multiple ulcers.
Christy is not in good health. I know that for a fact.
Her skin is bad, her eyes are bloodshot. If I saw her and didn't know her, I would think she was a sick person.
For a while last year, I was extremely concerned. She dropped weight extremely fast. She was under 100 pounds, her skin hanging off her face.
When I saw her, I felt like she was gonna die at any moment. She just looked frail. If she continues to do what she's doing, she's gonna die.
Christy's family says they're at their wits' end with Christy's lazy, lying, mooching ways. She's here having extracted from her parents a letter of agreement that her new boyfriend can continue to live rent-free where he is, which is where you've been living rent-free. And you say he's a good boyfriend. Let me ask you something. Does he know that you've leveraged them for him to be able to stay there for free and not be harassed?
He does not plan on staying there for free. He plans on paying rent.
But does he know about the deal?
Yes.
He's a grown man. He needs to go take care of himself.
He actually has an opinion about this as well. He's written you a letter. In part, it says, I have only known you for 3 months. On our second date, you asked if it bothered me how much you drank. I grew up with an alcoholic father. You are a loyal mother to your daughters. I can see how much they love you, and it just melts my heart. You share with me the fact that you are ready to quit drinking and to give you till the Super Bowl. As time passed and the Super Bowl long gone, you continue to drink. It also appears that you are drinking more. I too am afraid your daughters will lose their mother. I told you that I would marry you after you have been sober for 8 months. Your baby girls want their mama and want to be a family again. I love you forever. Where do you think you're going to be a year from now?
I have a job set up, and in a year I see myself with a full-time job, paying rent and being sober and being mom again. I plan on having my kids home in 6 months.
So you've got a plan. What do you think you need to do? Just go home and work your plan?
I think so.
She's had this plan several times and has truly wanted to follow the plan, but she can't succeed by herself. I can't save her anymore. I can only take care of the children.
Well, because you're not taking care of her now. You're now taking care of her and this boyfriend who knows that he's reaping the benefits of her extortion with you, and you're now picking up strays and taking care of them as well. So you need to not do that. Because here's the thing. It's kind of like you can make all these sacrifices, and if it has a chance of helping them, getting them turned around, then even at a high cost, it's probably a sacrifice you would make. That's what's built into us as parents, right? But if you make the sacrifice and it has no chance of success, then why make the sacrifice? You know, sometimes people ask me, Dr. Phil, do you think problems are as simple as you make them out to be? Well, I'm going to answer that question real specifically right after the break.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phil to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. Before the break, I said sometimes people ask me, Dr. Phil, are problems as simple as you make them out to be? The truth is, I don't think problems are simple at all. I think problems are very complex. They're often layered. They're often multifaceted. But you know what I think is simple sometimes? Are the solutions. No matter how complex the problems are, sometimes the solutions can be very simple, like you don't reward bad behavior.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're tired from being drunk last night. Let me take these children. Here, let me take these children home. You sleep in. I hope the mower doesn't wake you up.
Yep. That's me.
I'll try and mow away from the window.
Yep.
You're doing that to make you feel better, not to make her feel better. Take a look at this. These are what I call the 4 stages of readiness. Stage 1 is when you do something because you are compelled by authority to do it. Court ordered. The chance of this working is about 0. Stage 2, you do it to escape criticism. This is 0+. This is when you say, I'm getting criticized. Someone do it, get them off my back. Stage 3, you know you need to do it. You know you need to do it. I mean, you can make the argument. You say, look, I get it. I know I need to stop drinking. I can make all the arguments. I get it. And, you know, your chance of changing on a 1 to 10's maybe between 1 and 2. And then stage 4 is when you are mentally and emotionally self-motivated to change. I am going to change. I don't care what it takes. There is no way, no how. I am going to put up with this another day in my life. And that is when you get change.
I'm there. We are there.
That's when you're going to change and
Yes.
stop enabling her, and that's when you're going to change and claim your life back. I flew them in here today to do it. I'm not going to do it, but there's a place in West Palm Beach called the Hanley Center, and it's part of the Origins Behavioral Health Care. It's the nation's leading dual diagnosis treatment centers. T.J. Howard is here. He's the corporate director of operations for them. They have gender-specific programs. They do the dual diagnosis. They work on everything. I'm unwilling to waste that resource because you're not even close to stage 4, are you? You're more interested in thumbing your nose at them. You're more interested in being right. You're more interested in defending what you do instead of changing who you are.
I just want to call the funeral home and start getting things prepared.
Well, what you need to do is you need to call the court. You need to move to terminate parental rights. You need to take custody of those children, face what it is, and move on. Because she's more interested in being a right-fighting victim than taking control and changing her life. I'm just calling it the way it is. You know the truth. Tell me I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong. I will get them back. I will be sober, and I will get them back.
And how are you going to do that?
Well, the first step is to quit drinking, isn't it?
Yeah. You see my point?
Yes.
She's got probably $100,000 plus world-class opportunity right in front of her, and she won't even fight for it.
I know.
That's how much she cares about those girls.
Oh my gosh. You're blowing the chance of a lifetime to get your children back and be the Christy we knew.
Do you hear what he's saying?
And she wants to have an attitude. I get tens of thousands of letters and people screaming, scratching desperately at the door to have a chance to save their lives. I'll be damned if I'm going to waste it on somebody that thinks they're doing me a favor to be here. Want to get something off your chest? Sign up for the drphil.com community and weigh in on your favorite episodes and share your personal stories with other community members. Plus, get started on your own blog to share your thoughts on the topics that interest you most. I'll be reading those message boards. Log on to drphil.com today. Could I debate her into going? Of course, but that's not the goal. To get her to say yes is I can do that in 30 seconds. I could get her to say yes. That's not the point. The point is to get her to yes and mean it to them. I want to thank all of my guests. A special thanks to TJ Howard and Origins Behavioral Healthcare. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. To talk to me?
I want to apologize for the way I behaved on stage. I've had a lot of mixed emotions about what's been going on in my life, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I do know that I need all of the help that you could give me, and I'm asking you to reconsider helping me, because I need to get back to my children.
Why the change of heart?
I was just so overwhelmed with everything on stage that I couldn't even think straight. I didn't know what to say. And I just needed a minute to think about it and to calm down.
First off, I accept your apology. I understand that's an overwhelming situation. It can be. But let me be very clear about something here. I just made a very impassioned speech to your mother, father, sister in America about don't reward bad behavior. And I don't reward bad behavior. You need to understand the gravity of what I'm talking about here. In fairness, you've had a chance to take a breath and think here. I'm talking about you shipping off to Florida. I don't know how long you will be gone. If you love those girls, take care of their mother. And then they'll get their mother back. And when you go down there, if you do this, you need to lean into that program. If they tell you go over and stand on your head in the corner, you need to be heels up. You don't ask questions, you don't second guess, you don't bitch or bellyache. You do what you need to do. Because when you threaten to leave, they will call a cab in 2 seconds. They will call me in 3 seconds. I will call them in 4 seconds. They will call a locksmith in 5 seconds. And that condo will be someplace you used to live. This whole world is going to change. You willing to make that commitment?
Yes.
You understand once I get involved, I will haunt you to the ends of the earth to make you healthy and have those girls put their arms around your neck and hug you and be proud of you. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Okay.